Cleveland Browns fans have been there through the hardest of times and some of the best of times since the team returned to the NFL in 1999. Who could forget when a soldier and a Wolverine lit the town on fire in 2007 with a 10-win season for the ages? From a Hail Mary touchdown pass by Tim Couch to secure the first victory of the new era, to a playoff victory led by Baker Mayfield over the hated Pittsburgh Steelers, this book captures it all. From wins over their rivals to wins in prime time with the world watching, we examine every big moment and every hard hit. First and 10, the latest read from veteran author Vince McKee, takes you through every high and low since the Cleveland Browns' return to the NFL and is now available everywhere books are sold, including Amazon. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Advanced Diagnostics Auto Care and Maintenance. If you want dealership quality at a fraction of the cost, visit Advanced Diagnostics Auto Care and Maintenance at 23779 Lorraine Road in North Olmsted, and you won't be disappointed. You need a repair shop that you can trust. They know the repair process is all about customer service. How they treat their customers is just as important, if not more important, than the quality of the services they provide. They are always willing to discuss your repair needs before, during, and long after your visit. They treat you like family and won't stop until you're completely satisfied and road ready. B.A. Sweetie Candy Company. The world's most famous candy company is right here in our backyard. They are located at 6770 Brook Park Road in Cleveland, and it is a candy lover's paradise. They have every candy from your childhood, so make sure to visit them today. Climate Tech Inc. For 48 years, family-owned and operated Climate Tech has been the premier company for all HVAC services. For both residential and commercial, they have it covered. They offer free estimates on equipment replacement and 24-hour emergency service. Visit them at climatetech.com. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop. Dave's Golden Shear Barbershop has been your trusted barber for nearly a century of great haircuts. With affordable prices and excellent customer service, there's no better place to get your cut. It is located at 26915 Center Ridge Road in Westlake. Dick Esser Plumbing. Get exceptional plumbing repairs and installations for your commercial property from the experienced professionals at Dick Esser Plumbing and Heating Incorporated. They provide honest services and quality workmanship. You can find out more about them today at dickesserplumbing.com. Falls PC Clinic. If you're looking for excellent service and a people-friendly approach, then you've come to the right place. Falls PC Clinic has an ultimate goal to serve you and make your experience a pleasant one. They offer all repairs for makes and models, including Mac computers. They work on laptops and desktops and specialize in hardware repairs. Look them up at fallspcclinic.com. Live from Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium here in beautiful North Royalton, Ohio. It is week 3 of the Northeast Ohio high school football season, and you are watching the Key on Sports game of the week against North Ridgeville, traveling on into North Royalton to take on the Bears. I am Brandon Soder alongside Cole McDaniel and Dom Clary. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to you for a preview of today's game.
Well, we're officially at week 3. In high school football, the season's already starting to feel like it's flying by. We just got this thing started, and now after this week's game, conference play begins for most teams out there. Again, a lot more coverage coming up. Really the next 7 weeks following as well here on the YouTube channel. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. As you heard Brandon say, Cole McDaniel here with Dom Clary. Of course, we'll bring Brandon back in here in just a second. But this matchup here, we're at North Royalton, Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium, where the 1-1 Bears host the 2-0 North Ridgeville Rangers. And this is going to be a fun one here, Dom, tonight. Week 1, we actually witnessed North Ridgeville win their game against North Olmsted. That was a game that was our Key on Sports high school football game of the week. Again, I'm looking forward to this one. I'm sure you are as well.
Absolutely, Cole. North Ridgeville, week 1, we saw a surprise emergence of Cole Miller, the sophomore, stepping at quarterback. That was a surprise to all of us. But now we know what to expect from him. You have Charlie Steinmetz, who, we determine is the player to watch here in Northeast Ohio, at least for us. But right now, North Royalton, they're 1-1. They're looking to challenge this perfect North Ridgeville record right now. I like stuff like this, Cole. You have two teams that are looking kind of get on the right path before they get on conference play. We have a good one here today. I'm excited to get into this one.
Well, to open the season for North Royalton, they won that game 43-34 versus Maple Heights in week 1, and then last week played a tough Highland team and lost that one 35-7. So again, you mentioned it, they are looking to bounce back here in week 3 as conference play is right around the corner. See if they can improve from their 500 record to move to 2-1, but they have a tough test in the Rangers. The Rangers outscoring their opponents 82-13, a 41-7 victory over North Olmsted. That Key on Sports high school football game of the week, week 1, was slow. It was sloppy from the start, 7-7 at halftime, and then North Ridgeville poured it on in the second half. And then last week, again, they took care of business 41-6 versus Valley Forge. So again, that is a team that is cruising right now. Going to be tough for North Royalton to be able to stop them. But, again, it's certainly something that's doable here at home in front of, again, a great crowd here on this Labor Day weekend.
One thing I want to see before we get into the action, North Royalton challenged Ridgeville's defense. They've only given up 6 points. If you remember that touchdown that they gave up, that was an offensive turnover. Challenge this offense. Let's get going, and let's get into this game, Cole.
Kickoff here in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned here on the Key on Sports YouTube channel. Cole McDaniel, Dom Clary, and Brandon Soder here from Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium. Opening kickoff about to get underway here. And mentioned on this Labor Day weekend, of course, honoring the military, those who served in the past or currently serving at the moment. And see the jerseys there from North Royalton down on the field. Actually, the same jerseys, again, they were wearing last year. Those military, those Army-like colors that Brandon and I would have seen last year when we were here week 3 against Padua. Opening kickoff, fielded, and taken up to about the 38-yard line, and that is where North Royalton and the Bears will come onto the field with their starting quarterback, number 3, Joe Kenny, and their star running back, number 22, Cody Miller, and expect him to get the rock a lot tonight.
I'm interested to see this North Royalton team. I was not here when you guys saw them last week. Last year. I was at a wedding, so I'm interested. This is my first taste since working with you guys of seeing this Royalton team. I'm interested to see what type of system they're running here.
And last year, Cody Miller, again, was the guy to really tote the rock. Had a lot of carries in that game, week 3 last season. He gets the carry to open up this game, surges forward, About a gain of 2, going to get out to the 40-yard line. 2nd and 8 upcoming. So North Royalton going from right to left on your screen. I mentioned the defense and the white jerseys there for North Ridgeville, and they had a defensive front three that really went to work and did a great job stacking the inside, making it difficult for North Olmsted in week 1. We'll touch on those guys here in just a moment as they're going to be tested. Miller gets the carry again. He'll get forward for a gain of 3.
That was the tough thing for North Olmsted in week 1. Obviously, it was tough just in general being week 1, trying to get your offense steady, but hard to get anything going when you're facing that kind of pressure, like you said, from the front three of North Ridgeville. So if that's something that they can keep up all year and continue to be able to both plug up the middle and put pressure on the quarterback without having to rush that extra man, they're going to be a tough team to beat and a tough team to get set against.
Lots of big bodies there on that defensive line right now, but right now 3rd and 5 for the Bears. In the pistol, back to pass, lefty launching down the field, has a man wide open, a completion, and just had one man to beat, but going to be down inside the 20-yard line, up along the sideline. Looked like he was drugged down right around the 15. See exactly where they spot. It's going to be at the 16-yard line, but a huge strike there for Joe Kenny.
A beautiful pass. He was able to break past the coverage there by North Ridgeville. There was nothing but grass. Got caught from behind there. Saw nothing but the purple end zone, but couldn't catch up to it. It's a beautiful play.
Not seeing the number 82 right now on the Bears roster. Here's a handoff to Miller. Barreling down close to the 10-yard line. And that's actually something that last year, Kenny saw some potential for him, but against Padua last year didn't necessarily have the greatest game. And Brandon, got to say, that was a good pass, and that was a lot stronger of a throw and on the target, more so than we saw from him last season.
Absolutely. You're seeing the arm develop a little bit, and especially this early in the game, before the quarterback's even really in rhythm. You know, no easy completions, no screens, nothing like that. To be able to cork one out like that to start, it's got to boost your confidence right away.
2 minutes played so far. Here's the handoff up the middle, and there's no room to run there. Going to set up a 3rd down upcoming. Want to remind everybody that that pregame show was brought to you by Hinckley Roofing, and also a reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing as well. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. 3rd and 5 from the 11-yard line. And right now, Royalton liking running out of that pistol set. 2 receivers at the far side of the field. Here's the snap. Handoff once again. No room to run there, and it's going to set up a 4th down. But the way that play was called, I would assume Royalton has full intentions to go for this.
We'll see. I believe seems like they're putting a kicking team on, but I could be wrong here, Cole.
It looks like they did change things up and decide to send the field goal unit out on the team. Very conservative call to start this game. Would have thought they would go to the air, especially when Kenny's 1 for 1.
Well, you know, you have a 3-3 odd you're going against here, which means you only have 3 guys on the line, so you're trusting your offensive line to move up to the backers. They thought they could get 5 yards there, just couldn't do it on the ground.
Kick is up, and that one was hanging up in the air. Did not have much distance on it. Almost felt like it was coming backwards, but it made its way through the upright, and there you have it. The Bears take a 3-0 lead on the field goal there. And that's exactly what the home crowd would want, to take the lead early, but I'm sure they would have wanted to find a way to get 7 against this powerful Rangers defense.
The good news is you were able to move the ball down the field, right? You got points on the board. You would have liked to come away with 7. That's the good part. What's a little bit concerning if you're North Royalton, you see their game plan. They want to pound the rock. They really haven't been able to get much going there. I believe only 10 total rushing yards at this point. You had the one big pass that doesn't really seem like that's a huge part of the game plan. Hopefully they adjust. But, you know, a little bit of a mixed bag there for the Bears to start, but you're happy to get 3 points on the board.
So despite needing to settle for the field goal there on that trip to the red zone, a reminder that each trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit Kelly-Mac NorthRoyalton.com to learn more. So 8 minutes left to go here in the first quarter, and first offensive possession upcoming for the Rangers here in just a moment. Back deep to return. Going to be fielding this one at the 10-yard line. That's number 8, Andrew Ennis, and meets a crowd of defenders there just past the 25-yard line. And that is where the offense of the Rangers will come out on the field. And, of course, you know from last year and week 1, running back number 36, Zach Barnhart, the sophomore, he's their workhorse. Had a nasty stiff arm as well for one of those plays in that opening game of the week. But Charlie Steinmetz, listed as a running back on the roster, also going to be out there like a wide receiver, catching a lot of passes. Had 3 touchdowns in that first game of the season. Of course, at quarterback, number 10, Cole Miller, who looked very impressive in the second half of week 1. Handoff up the middle. Not a ton of room there for Zach Barnhart.
I'm interested to see this Royalton defense here. It looked like they were in a sort of a 3-3-3-4 under look, which essentially is almost like a bear formation where you have 2 outside linebackers. And they'll get back to it. Look at that. That's essentially a bear formation.
Let's clap the hand. Handoff. And no room to run. And I have to say, after 2 runs for the Rangers, feel like North Royalton does not have the biggest defensive line. But twice, the linebackers did a great job filling those holes, coming forward and forcing really only 3 yards gain, and now it's 3rd and 7 for the Rangers.
Well, that's what an under, a 3-4 under or a bear formation will do. It occupies all the offensive linemen. The only way you can counter that is either adding a tight end or a fullback into that blocking, or ace, which is 2 tight ends on the line.
Empty set for Miller. Short throw, and that one's completed and quickly wrapped up as number 17, Ryan Anderson, and that forces a 4th down, a 3-and-out for the Rangers offense. And that's an ideal start for the Bears defense.
Wow, they're downhill, aren't they? These linebackers are on their toes. They're not looking for pass. They're looking to go right down the field and make a play. I mean, they're going to sit back. They're going to be patient. But, boy, they're just waiting for you to catch the ball, and boom, downfield they go to make a big play.
Snap and the punt, and that's a low-line drive end over end. Takes a hop, fielded just past the 20-yard line, trying to cut up field, and just gets right back past the 20, taken down up close to the 22 is number 20, Mannix Wasco.
There's a flag on the play. Let's see what they call here.
Right around where this was fielded. You can see the orange on your screen, exactly where that ball was picked up. Interested to see what the call is going to be here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be backing this thing up. I would assume that's a block in the back, and there's the official call coming there. From the positioning, that's one of those where guys running backwards trying to field it. As soon as he turns, he's got his coverage team coming from behind and just a little shove in the back trying to clear a little bit of space. And now it's going to back up the offense to the 10-yard line.
Now this drive, I think, is going to tell you a lot about this Bears offense. Obviously, they've been wanting to try to run the ball and establish that. We've only seen one pass so far, be it a successful one. Got to imagine being pinned this deep. Got to see the quarterback go to work a little bit more. Let's see if they can push this ball down the field.
2 receivers to the near side, tight end in motion. Here's the handoff. Miller looking for some space, finds a hole, keeps those legs churning, and makes his way to the 20-yard line. An excellent gain there. Going to be a 2nd and very short.
Yeah, this is why I love the pistol so much. The pistol formation essentially just allows the quarterback to turn around and hand it off, almost like a like a single formation where you're under center. Except you don't have to go back as far. It's a quick hitter like the spread is, except you're not stepping horizontal. You're stepping forward. It's more up and down, but it still allows you to pass. It still allows you to be mobile. It still allows your running back in the position to succeed, and the timing is similar to the spread. I just like it so much more.
Definitely a power formation out there now. Ton of blockers out in front of Miller, and instead he decides to go and bounce this to the outside. Gets enough yardage to move the chains.
And there it is, some positive momentum for the Bears on the ground. they can get this going, if they can get some, put a little bit of pressure on that front four for North Ridgeville, this might be a higher scoring affair, might be hanging in this a little bit more than maybe people would have expected from the jump.
And don't get fooled by that 35-7 score last week. Highland is a very tough team. Yes, Highland lost a very close one in the opening week for them, but that is a very talented program. Don't get fooled by that score. Kenny, short throw into the flats there, and that one just slips through the hands of the intended target. And as it falls in complete there, now 2nd and 10 from the 22.
Yeah, there goes I think that was a screenplay. Explains how I feel about that. One thing I will say is that North Royalton's helmets are great. They're like the Giants helmets from back in the day.
Yep.
Where it has the line underneath. Quick, little off topic there, but just had to point that out.
Two receivers to the far side of the field. Miller to the left of Kenny. Here's the handoff. Spins out of one tackle and then swallowed up by 2 white jerseys immediately after that. And it's going to be 3rd and long.
Now, Dom, which Steelers player did that remind you of? Figure it's still first quarter. We got to get this out of the way early.
No, I'll do it when I feel like it. Listen, I can't just reference the greatest football team since the Super Bowl era randomly. It has to be perfectly timed, and I didn't feel it there.
Big 3rd down now for North Royalton.
2 receivers to the near side. Kenny, lefty trying to run, finds a little bit of space out the middle, barreled over a defender, but still taken down from behind after the gain of a few yards. And that will set up 4th down and send the punting unit out onto the field.
Special teams is what I'm looking at here for Ridgeville. I want to see if they're able to be error-free, mistake-free.
And just heard the call here a little bit ago, that big reception for the Bears. Originally, Joseph Calarco listed as number 88 on the roster, but he's 82 tonight. So again, he had that big reception on that first drive for the Bears. Here's the punt. High hanging punt up in the air, bounces just past the 40-yard line, takes a favorable bounce for the Bears, and going to stop dead at the 25-yard line. And that is where Cole Miller and the Rangers offense comes back out onto the field.
Again, you wanted special teams. Can't ask for a much better punt than that, still being relatively deep in your own territory. Defensive struggle here to start. We're still early on in this game, but, both sides really coming out and establishing their game plans. Offense is struggling to get going here. Let's see if North Ridgeville can maybe turn the script.
So after the 3-and-out on their last drive, receiver in motion, and we got some laundry on the field, movement up front, and I think the offense of the Rangers is going to be backing up due to a false start.
And already penalties pinning back North Ridgeville. We just saw the same thing with North Royalton. In a game where the offenses are taking a little bit to kind of get going, that's not going to help.
Not at all. You have to be mistake-free. That's a mental error. You got to limit those, and he kind of made it a habit here for the first 2 games.
Here's a handoff. Barnhart finding room, slipping a couple tackles. He's out in the open field. Going to be run down up along the sideline, but a positive gain in the first time that the Rangers enter into Bears territory.
And there you have it. Big chunk play for North Ridgeville. Maybe the spark they need. Excellent run. Good second effort, breaking a couple of tackles. Getting to the outside. Doesn't necessarily have that burner speed, but just enough to kind of break free and barrel his way down. Now all of a sudden, Rangers getting the things going.
For a sophomore, Barnhart is so solid and tough to tackle. Here's that pitch to Steinmetz. Seen a couple plays like that in past weeks before. Not much of a result there in positive yardage. Able to get forward for a gain of 2. But again, it felt like any time Steinmetz touched the football in week 1, it was resulting in a touchdown. Not this time.
Again, it seems like, so at least to this point, we're still early on in this game, but Bears seem to have the best defense that Ridgeville's had to face so far. Still trying to figure them out.
Clap of the hand, Miller rolling to his right. Has a man wide open downfield if he can deliver a strike. Up in the air, caught, and into the end zone. A touchdown from Cole Miller to number 2, Austin Young.
That ball was right on the money, Cole. You know, what's crazy is that at this level, you usually see the quarterback have to really put his body into it. But no, not from the sophomore, Cole Miller now. Little easy touch. He could have put a little bit more juice on it. Probably led his wide receiver a little bit more. Nah. He put it right on the money. Wide receiver was able to track it down and fall in the end zone. Hey, Rangers up. This has been a common theme here early in the season for North Ridgeville.
PAT up and good for Austin DeShazo, and it's now 7-3 with just under 2 minutes remaining here in the opening quarter from North Royalton, Ohio, Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium, the Keon Sports High School football game of the week. And have to say, looked like the defensive back was looking in the backfield. As Miller was rolling to his right, got sucked in with his eyes watching the quarterback and got blown by Austin Young. He was wide open. That set up perfectly, and Miller saw he had that pass all day. All he had to do was put it on the money, and like Dom said, running to his right, he probably could put a little more juice on it, but put it right in the arms of Austin Young, and Young, despite the defensive back getting close to him, was able to haul it in, and that was a really nice drive for the Rangers to respond back after that 3-and-out on the first drive.
And if you're North Ridgeville, if you're any football team, really, that's exactly how you want your drives to go. Lure them in with the run, continue to pound it, break off some nice plays, hit them with the pass when they least expect it. Cole Miller hasn't had to do much at this point. But again, he lured the defensive back in, had his guy wide open, and, that's enough to put 7 up on the board. Could not have asked for a better drive for the Rangers.
Low line drive kick. Takes a hop around the 15, and it's fielded by Miller. Miller makes a man miss. Really nice move to cut inside. Found some open field. And honestly, if he beat one more guy, probably could have been off to the races. But still up to the 40-yard line, and really solid field position now for the Bears.
Again, I say it, I feel like almost every game. If you're North Royalton, you struck first. You're still only within 4 here. Plenty of time left to go in this game. You got some good field position to start this drive as well. Keep trying to run the ball. Wear down this front. I have a feeling by the end of this, whoever is able to wear down the defensive line first is going to be the team that comes out on top, seeing as how these are both run-heavy teams here. Again, got to give a little bit of an edge maybe to the Rangers, but given how they've played the first couple of weeks. But North Royalton so far, despite giving up a touchdown on that last drive, looking solid.
Trips left. Handoff out of the pistol, and as soon as Miller touched the football, there were multiple defenders there. I believe Mattis was the first one in the backfield. Carson Mattis, the junior linebacker, and he's a guy to watch out for coming off the edge. We talked about the big bodies in the middle, but he's a guy who can fly around the edge and certainly apply some pressure, and he did it there.
Yeah, he makes this defense almost into a 4 down sometimes. He's an overhang, kind of makes it an under from time to time. The thing is, he usually comes from distance. It looks like he's in coverage. So right now, he's going to go just wide enough where it looks like he's in coverage. Not this time here, but he looks to come off that edge.
2nd and 14 from the 36-yard line. Back to pass is Kenny. On the double move, defensive back slips. That one put on the back shoulder, reaching up to snag that one as number 20, Mannix Wasco.
Again, Royalton hasn't had to go to the pass game very often, but when they called a number, I mean, the space is there. Less than a minute to go now here in the first quarter. Bears marching down the field, trying to pick up some of that momentum.
And both throws that Kinney's had to make, they have been wide open, but he's delivered a good football. Going right back to the well with the running game. Here's Miller in open space. Nobody's going to catch him to the 10, to the 5, and into the end zone untouched. Beautiful blocking for the Bears. And, of course, it's their star running back, Cody Miller, and a lead once again for the Bears.
Cody Miller, all he needs is the rock and a little bit of room, and there's no one in front of him but the referee, Cole, in some purple grass that we like to call the end zone. He has a lot of speed. This offensive line, they seem a little undersized up there, especially on that left side, but they do a good job getting to the defense, getting inside, and sealing them off. They know exactly where Cody Miller's going to go, and they do a good job making sure he has nothing but a clear path in front of him.
Here's the snap. The hold looks good. PAT up and splits the uprights. And now it's 10-7 in favor of the Bears. 30 seconds remaining, 27 actually to be exact, remaining here in the opening quarter of this game. And we're going to see a lot of good matchups with running backs throughout the season. But I have to say, this is going to be one of the best matchups. Running back-wise, we're going to see Zach Barnhart. He is a bulldozer in the backfield. And then you have the explosiveness of Cody Miller on the other side. And I think we were all looking forward to this. And it's almost been even more impressive with the big plays we've seen from both sides in the running game to this point.
Yeah, this is my kind of football, Cole. You know, you have a pistol look. You have honestly two pistol looks at times where you have H-backs back there, or fullbacks traditionally, but we'll call them H-backs for now. They like spreading the ball from time to time, but mainly they have their workhorse, and they get to work, and these offensive linemen like getting to the second level. This is beautiful football. This is what the football gods wanted when they created this beautiful game.
And after this kickoff and a return, we're probably only going to see one offensive play before these teams switch sides. But the return here at the 10-yard line, looking for some space up the middle, splitting through a couple defenders there before being taken down past the 30-yard line is number 8, Andrew Ennis. And there's officially 20 seconds remaining on the clock.
Now, it's way too early to say that this is a drive that you have to score on, but got to imagine it's in the back of the Rangers' head. The Bears will already put up more points than anyone has on them all season. So, again, while you still got plenty of time to get your offense going, this isn't going to be a cakewalk like it was the first 2 weeks.
And 82-13 was how much the Rangers were outscoring their opponents the first 2 weeks. Miller pulls that one really late. Barnhart almost took that one from him, but he decided to pull that one late because he saw Steinmetz open over the middle, but because of the late pull, he had to really jump. It was almost like an old Tim Tebow jump pass there and sailed that one. Maybe fortunate that the two deep safeties weren't able to track down that football. And it's now 2nd and 10, and the offense of the Rangers lives to see another day.
Yeah, those are the mistakes you want. One that the defense can't capitalize on. He's back there by his lonesome. Let's see if they just try to draw him off sides or.
Barnhart, man in motion, the handoff on almost like a jet sweep for him there. Gain of about 5 yards, and that should do it for the first quarter. These teams are going to switch sides, and we'll step aside here. 10-7, the Bears lead the Rangers. We'll be right back for the start of the second quarter.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Frankie's Italian Cuisine. Looking for a place to enjoy a post-game meal? Love Italian food? Frankie's Italian Cuisine has you covered from meatball to lasagna. Visit them tonight at 4641 Great Northern Boulevard in North Olmsted and taste the 50-plus years of legacy for yourself. Freedom Auto Detail and Ceramics. Experience the best in automotive luxury and protection with Freedom Auto Detailing in Ceramics. Unleashing the true beauty of your vehicle with expert detailing, premium ceramic coating, and paint protection services. As a veteran-owned and operated business, they take pride in the unique qualities and values that set them apart from other detailing and paint correction services. Find their work online at freedomceramiccoatings.com.
About to get the second quarter underway as these teams switch sides. A 3rd and 5 upcoming for the Rangers after a gain of 5 yards on that carry for Barnhart just a moment ago. Looks like Cole Miller going to be out there in an empty set in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side of the field, 2 to the far side. The clap of the hand for Miller. Here's a screen, and that one going nowhere. And Dom Clary's about to say, that's why I hate screens. 4th down upcoming.
Why are we going backwards? Why? I hate bubble screens. I hate halfback screens. The only wide receiver screens I liked were ones where they're going straight down the sideline, and you have almost your entire offensive line, but the right tackle or the left tackle, depending what side you're going. Everyone, elephants on parade is what we like to call it. You're downhill, and you just have a wall right behind right in front of the wide receiver. That's a screen. That's going backwards and basically conceding and saying, We don't really want to score. I don't get it. I know it's the new age offense these days, but I'm not quite sure what happened.
Dom, you're talking like you're 50.
But you're not going down the field. These plays work maybe 20% of the time, and there's no version of them where it works most of the time. It's essentially just replacing a run. There's no purpose for it. Again, run a curl route, run a slant, run a waggle route. There's many things that do what you're trying to do better. It's doesn't make sense.
Well, this is bold. 4th and 2 in the offense down the field, and they get the defense to jump. A mental mistake there for the defense of the Bears as they jump off sides and move the chains now. A bailout on 4th and 2, and I honestly think that the Rangers might have been content taking a timeout there and just did that to see if they could force that mistake.
Hey, you see it happen all the time. You see teams attempt it all the time, and at this level, every once in a while, it's going to work out for you.
So now a 1st and 10 on a gimme from the 45-yard line. Pistol set, Barnhart, handoff up the middle, tripped up and swung down just before he gets to the 50-yard line, officially spotted at the 49, gain of 4.
I'll tell you what, you had a defensive lineman on the play before jump. As an offensive lineman, when that happens, to make it a neutral zone infraction, you're told to react. You're told to jump out or fall over or hit him. We used to say if he goes over the line, knock him on his butt. Now, that's not the exact wording we used, but that's essentially what the idea was there.
Pistol set once again. Steinmetz in motion, and that pass sailed over the outstretched arms of the leaping Austin Young. After the pass falls incomplete, now 3rd and 6.
Couple throws now from Miller have been sailing high. You know, I'm wondering if that's a nerves thing. Again, they're in a little bit of an unfamiliar situation. Week 1, it was kind of expected that everyone was going to struggle a little bit out of the gate. Last week, a little bit easier. Now, in the face of adversity, see if Miller can settle down and start putting those on point.
Each pass that sailed high was sloppy when he pulled it back and didn't hand the football off. Looks like this is going to be 4-down territory again. They decided to just run it with Barnhart, get closer to the chains, setting up a 4th and short, and the offense going to remain out on the field for the Rangers. Of course, the last time they picked up the first down was because on 4th and 2, North Royalton jumped off sides. Here on 4th and 3, don't be surprised if you hear a little bit of a hard count and see if they can get a jump. But going to be a timeout for the Rangers. They're going to talk this thing over offensively with just over 9.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. And so, to my point, Dom, I'm going to ask you this. A couple of those times that Cole Miller threw it high, like I said, he was really late on his decision to pull that football. The first time especially, Barnhart almost had that one out of Miller's hands, and then Miller pulled it right back and had to almost do a jump pass to get over the line, and that's how he sailed that one over Steinmetz. That last one, he pulled it late, a little bit better, right? But he did have pressure in his face immediately. How important is it when you have those RPOs where quarterbacks, they have to make a quick decision?
So I personally like the RPOs. It allows your line to be aggressive, but allows your wide receivers to feel like they're in the run game without just blocking. What you're doing is you're reading the linebackers. So your eyes are on the middle linebackers, depending on the mic or the well, usually the mic. You're trying to see if he's going forward. If you see that helmet dip, he's reading run, you pull, you pass. But if you see him drop back, you let that ball go. It's reactionary, but it's still allowing you to be aggressive. The RPO is one of the best parts of this new age game.
Here's the offense of the Rangers back out on the field. A little bit of trickery there, and I do believe that carry there for Andrew Ennis is going to get just enough yardage to move the chains. Got to the sticks. Coaching staff of the Bears not happy with the spot, but I think the forward progress should have put it just past the 45-yard line, but the official is going to talk this thing over, and I actually think that they might have marked it back where Ennis went down rather than where that forward progress is. I think that should be no question that should move the chains, but they're going to measure. It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think it'll still move, but much closer than it looked initially when he went down. I thought he he had at least cleared that 45, but you got the nose right on the 45-yard line, which is where this chain is, so I understand why they're bringing this out. It's going to be close, but they got it.
It's going to get there. And I do think, again, when Ennis, he did surge past the 45-yard line just barely, and then when he got spun back down, it felt like he went almost like a little bit backwards at the same time as going sideways. Almost felt like that was a favorable spot for the Bears, but oh so close, a matter of inches there, tip of the football past the sticks. And now it's 1st and 10 from the 45.
And that's the second time, too, that Ridgeville has faced 4th down. The first time able to get the Bears to go offside. Second time they're able to actually convert on 4th down. So North Royalton not making this easy. Ridgeville still keeps the offense on the field.
Man in motion. Ennis has it once again. And he's going to find his little bit of space there. Looked like between the right guard and the right tackle, and makes his way to the 41-yard line. Gain of 4 on the carry. So just over 9 minutes left to go in the second quarter. I want to remind everybody that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. 2 running backs in the backfield. Barnhart gets the carry. Decides to cut back after getting out around the edge. And he makes his way to the 35-yard line. That's right where the marker is. And they're going to say it's just a touch short. So about half a yard away from moving the chains once again, 3rd and 1 officially.
You know, they like using as many downs as possible to get where they have to go. And, you know, if you're the defense, you never want to give up big plays. You always want to give up drives. Yes, it's tiring, but there's nothing worse than just giving up oh, wow, we have a sub late.
And this is a QB draw right up the middle. Cole Miller takes that one forward. Gain of about 3 yards on that pickup of the first down there. And this is a nice, solid, long drive that just keeps moving down the field for the Rangers.
Yeah, no, they're being patient. I would look for a deep shot here, Cole. It wouldn't shock me. Maybe a little play action, kind of stay in the pocket, maybe don't have them roll out. We do have some one-on-one matchups here. Let's see if they take advantage.
From the 33, Miller back to pass, looking down the field. He's got a man wide open once again. That's a duck. That one floating up in the air, and it's intercepted by the Bears. And you see the head of Austin Young whipping up in the air, and he did slip, but that was because he was having to try to come back to the football. Did not come out of the hands of Cole Miller well at all. Looked like it slipped, and that was not a spiral. It was really flopping around sideways in the air and hung up and intercepted right around the 10-yard line. Not entirely sure if Miller actually got a hold of the laces there on that.
It almost looked like he was trying to throw a rugby ball football style. It looked like the ball was just too big for him to throw there. Wow, that's not what you expect to see from him. I know he's a sophomore, and we've seen some growing pains from him, but usually he throws a better ball than that.
So Royalton back out on the field, and Mattis comes from behind and takes down Miller. And Brandon, I believe there's something you might have wanted to say there about that pass there from Miller just a moment ago.
Yeah, no, all I was going to say, and I don't want to speculate because Miller has been lights out the first couple of weeks, but it seems like every time now there's an opportunity to really push, or like he sees something or wants to take a deep shot, he's seizing up a little bit. He's either overthrowing, or in that case, like you said, he just didn't get a good grip on the football. So something seems to be shaking him a little bit this week. I'm not 100% sure what it is. I do think, too, this playbook on the offensive side has expanded a little bit, so maybe that's factoring into this as well. He's got more on his plate to remember, but I just want to see him settle down and hopefully get in a rhythm before this game's done.
Kenny back to pass. The lefty looking down the field. He wants a shot himself. He has a man out in front, and I think that's going to be pass interference, as that one intended in the direction of number 10, Luke Kaprowski, and he was taken down before that football got there. Cornerback playing really tight. Believe that was Carter Clark.
So the reason why that flag was thrown wasn't because of the contact. He never turned his head. Sometimes that's what the ref looks for. You can make contact, but he was playing the man. That can be risky. If you have just one hand up and another hand on the guy you're guarding, you're going to throw that flag any day of the week. You got to turn your head. You got to look for the ball. At least attempt to look at the ball. that flag won't be thrown in that situation.
Here's the jet sweep, getting around the edge, past the 40-yard line, out around the 42 is Mannix Wasco. 6.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Second and 3 now.
The Bears coming out looking sharp so far. It's 3 yards to go if they want to keep this thing going. Momentum 100% on the side of North Royalton.
Here's a snap, the handoff. Miller found a little bit of space, and I do believe he's just getting past the first down marker, and he did move the chains. And the Bears quickly getting close to Rangers territory again. And if they can take a 2-score lead, that would be huge for them with a couple minutes remaining in the second quarter right before halftime.
Especially in a game where you see both sides really want to establish the run, that clock's going to keep going, right? And the more that clock ticks, the less possessions you're going to get. So this may be a game where 23 can win it for you.
High snap, and a keeper there for Joe Kenny. He had to jump up and snag that one, and by the time he was able to catch it and secure it, Miller was already past him, so he had to take it himself. The Rangers not expecting it. Kenny not the fastest guy, but he found that open space, the open green turf in front of him, and that moves the chains again, and the Bears in Rangers territory.
Don't know where I pulled 23 from. That was a very arbitrary number. Point being, you may not need to score 40 plus to win this, right? So if the Bears can capitalize this, and it looks like they might, you know, this could be huge for them heading into the half.
Here's the handoff. Miller finding space, turning on the Jets. Made one man miss in open field and brought down by the last safety. Moved the chains again, and ball down inside the 30-yard line.
No need to throw the ball here for the Bears. They are just driving down the field, wearing away at that front four, front three of Ridgeville.
The way Cody Miller moves in open space is just so impressive because he's so shifty. Don't want to be a defender left 1v1 versus him in open space, because he'll make you miss.
You won't get to him. He'll be past you by the time you realize he's there.
Here's the throw from Kenny. Short slant there to number 82, Joseph Calarco.
Again, back to the point that I made earlier about this being a game of limited possessions. We're down to almost 4 minutes to go in the first half. This is only the second offensive possession between either team here in the second quarter.
A reminder that this trip to the Red Zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more. 2nd and 1, ball on the 19-yard line, and a tight power set. A handoff to Miller. Miller trying to get to the sticks, and that's really close. Looks like from this angle that it's just enough to move it, and it is first down for the Bears.
You know, he's one of those backs where you can use him in power situations, but he's not a power back. What I mean by that is he falls forward. He's hard to wrap up. He's hard to get around. He's shifty. He's quick. He falls forward. He's everything you want in an elusive back. He just does it all.
Again, like you said, he's not a power back. He's only 5'10". He's not the biggest guy in the world, but what I'm noticing, again, just that contact balance, right? Like you said, it's hard to knock him off his spot. He has a just perfect center of gravity for the position.
Here's the jet sweep, and going to throw this one wide open. Receiver in the end zone, and that's a strike from number 20, Mannix Wasco, finding his intended target in the end zone, and a huge touchdown, and now a big lead. It's a 2-score lead now for the Bears, and the intended target there in the end zone was Matthew Jadasic. And it's now 16-7 with a chance to make it 17-7.
Tricky. I love plays like that. You know, you can kind of tell up here in the box right away that he's throwing it, but boy, they hit it.
Here's the snap. This one up, and it is good. 17-7 now the score. I think the visitors from North Ridgeville have to be a little bit stunned with how good we've seen this Bears team so far. And now it's time for the Rangers to try to respond. Of course, a reminder that North Ridgeville will receive the football coming out of the locker room out of halftime. So this could be a 2-for-1 type of a situation to try to go back-to-back. If they can score a touchdown on this drive, score again, they could get the lead right back very quickly. But you have 3.5 minutes up on the clock. That's plenty of time. You just have to get Cole Miller settled back down after that bad pass on the interception from the last drive.
Oh, and absolutely, and you've already proven if you're the Rangers that you can get the ball down the field. The problem is you need time, and you have a little bit of time here with 3 minutes. But again, we're in another situation where Miller's going to have to throw the ball at some point if they want to get this downfield long enough, unless you get lucky enough to break a big run. So it's time to really kind of get things going again. Too early to say that this is a must-score drive, but Miller has to show that he's ready to go out there and make a play if North Ridgeville is going to hang in this one.
3 returners back deep to return inside the 10-yard line. This one, a squib kick, and it's fielded at the 26-yard line. And here comes the offense of the Rangers once again. A reminder that in about 3 minutes of game time, don't go anywhere, because during halftime, it's going to be the Hinckley Roofing halftime show. Of course, Dom Clary going to be talking about some local scores as well, give you some updates, but that's going to come after an interview with Kenny Wilson of the Gutter Pros and Pristine Clean, so make sure not to go anywhere. Stick here during halftime. 2 in the backfield with Miller. Miller going to pull this one. He's got pressure from behind, made one man miss, and then wrapped up around the ankles, and he makes it back to the line of scrimmage.
By the way, guys, you know, that trick play reminds me of the 2005 Super Bowl when Antoine Randall threw one to Hines Ward, take the lead against the Seahawks.
There it is.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger struggling that game. Miami, Ohio alum, which I also will be giving Mac scores out as well, because everybody knows that's my thing. We'll talk more about that later. But, yeah, got to love the little trick play. A little reference to the GOAT, Antoine Randall.
Here's the snap. Keeper for Miller, finding a little bit of space behind Steinmetz. Tried to bounce it to the outside, though. Broken down well, though, by the cornerback, Mannix Wasco, and we've been calling his name on offense. Just had the touchdown pass. Now the wide receiver, who's also defensive back, does a great job on that tackle.
And again, not much you can do there if you're Miller. Both times the pockets really kind of collapsed on him. Obviously, it was a designed quarterback run in that particular instance, but this North Royalton, front seven has really been keying in on any kind of run that the Rangers have been able to throw out there so far.
3rd and 5 from the 33. Miller back to pass, pressure, and he's going to be sacked. Dropped in the backfield at the 29-yard line. And have to say, that front of the Bears right now, they've really been getting in the backfield and at least forcing Miller to scramble, and that time they actually get home.
Royalton is just overwhelming the Rangers right now. They're quick off the ball. They get their hands inside. That pass block, they're just not giving enough time. They're not getting set. They're not getting their hands. They're getting beat off the ball. They're right now losing on the line of scrimmage. This is not what we've really seen from the Rangers. This is new for us as it is for them. You could be giving the ball up here on a punt. I mean, the Bears could get this around maybe the 40, 35-yard line. That's good field position with 146 with college football rules with the clock stops and first downs.
Plenty of time, right? Talked about the Rangers potentially going to have a 2-for-1 if they could have a substantial drive there and find a way to get to the end zone, find a way to score there and then score coming out of halftime and take a lead. But right now they could really find themselves in a hole now going into halftime. Minute and 46 seconds remaining, so you would assume the offense is going to have about a minute and a half to work with after this punt. This one low, going to hop close to the sideline, out of bounds, right around the 45-yard line on the Bears side of the field. So 55 yards to go to get to the end zone. A minute and 39 seconds left.
Now here's what I want to see from Kenny. Obviously, minute 39, you got some time to kind of establish yourself again. But both times we've seen him have success, and we've seen the offense in general have success being able to really throw the ball down the field and get one of these big chunk plays. It's been after they've had plenty of time to establish the run. Now you're in a more obvious passing situation, or you could at least easily be pushed into that if you can't establish the run game quickly. Can Kinney step up and still put one on the money when the defense is expecting him to throw the ball?
So Joe Kinney has had a couple really big passes so far. The last big pass, that touchdown, was by way of a jet sweep. A wide receiver throwing it to the end zone. Expect Kinney back to pass again. This one a slant, tipped up in the air, intercepted by the Rangers. The Rangers making a huge play, and that one read the eyes of Kinney the whole way. It's number 23, Tyler Paragord, the linebacker, tipping it to himself, catching it, getting a couple yards after the interception. Now great field position for the Rangers. A minute and a half to work with themselves.
And all credit in the world there to the DB. Like, that was a quick throw. There's not much you're going to be able to do. I don't think, quarterback really necessarily made a poor decision there. Just all over that play, read it from the beginning, and now all of a sudden, momentum going back and forth here a little bit. North Ridgeville's got a chance to do something before half once again.
So it went from the Bears possibly putting the Rangers in a hole to now the Rangers seeing if they could get a score here right before half. But getting out around the edge was Andrew Ennis, and he really had one defender to beat there, and the defender sets the edge, makes a tackle, wraps up the legs. Beautiful tackle there. Only a gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
When the defender sets the edge, that means the inside is sealed off. So that outside zone can easily get brought up upfield, and he missed the opportunity there. You have to take advantage, go upfield, take what's given to you. I understand outside zone, go outside, but we have a timeout here, Cole. But, that's what I was taught. Outside zone was one of the things that I loved running in high school. I was taught if you can't get around him, if you can't seal him on the outside, turn your butt towards where the running back is coming from, and he will come off that almost as if it's an inside zone. You have to read that properly. If you don't, that's the result we get. What could have been a 5-yard gain is now a 1 yard.
So bad clock management there for the Rangers. Clock continued to tick down. They tried to get to the line of scrimmage and then run a play there, but they decided they weren't liking what they were seeing. Coaching staff calls a timeout, and that burnt a good 20 seconds off of the clock there. A little surprised in allowing so much time to come off. Still have a minute remaining. 2nd and 9 from the 43 upcoming. But again, that's one where if you want to take the timeout, do your best to see if you can take it early. Trips right. Miller. Empty set in the backfield. Back to pass. Finds a man wide open, and that one sails incomplete, and Miller just not on it as he had Steinmetz. Steinmetz had to step on his defensive back, and as that one falls incomplete, it's now 3rd and 9.
You go for this first down here. I wouldn't go for it all. Just get the first down. If not, punt the ball, get into the locker room, see what you can do better. You're only down by 10. Could be a lot worse here. You looked good on 2 drives, really. Just weren't able to take advantage of the one that you threw the interception on.
Assume this is 4-down territory here, kind of in no man's land for the Rangers. Quick pass out to Steinmetz right along the sideline. Turns upfield, gets past the sticks, move the chains. And that's what you have to do. You have to find a way to get Steinmetz the football. He's a guy who has a ton of ability. Like I said, week 1, 3 touchdowns, can do it on the ground, can do it in the air, and they just have not been able to find a way to give him the ball. Finally, they do there, and he makes a play happen.
You need to get him the ball more, plain and simple. I feel like we haven't mentioned his name enough. Yeah, he's gotten his fair share of touches, but I don't even see where he is on the field. No, he's tight end there.
In motion now. Miller finds Steinmetz again. Steinmetz on the short catch gets out of bounds after a gain of a few yards. So 2nd down upcoming, 42 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, you can use them in these situations where, we'll put them right in the tight end spot. They're behind our tackle, put them in motion. Yeah, it's essentially a slant. You just a lot more movement behind the line of scrimmage allows you to go upfield a little bit more. The linebackers can't do much. You can remove the corners depending what route you run or have the wide receiver block. There's a lot you can do there.
In the pistol again, Miller back to pass. Pressure from behind, and he's going to throw this one wildly. And fortunate there as he was being spun and about to be sacked, and of course that clock would have been continuing to run. Instead, able to get that one out of bounds on the incompletion. You know what that almost reminded me of? Reminded me of that Mariota throw last year where he was trying to throw that one staying up, but it ended up down on the ground. Fortunate as he launched that one up in the air that even though it was intercepted, it was incomplete in that game. Never a good idea when your quarterback being spun at any point to just launch it down the field.
It is funny, though.
Miller back to pass, pressure in his face, delivered a good pass to the corner of the end zone, and I think that penalty marker is going to be coming down, and it is. Defensive back did not get his head back to the football, and Steinmetz was practically tackled there in the corner of the end zone. And again, probably good there from the officials on that one. But I have to say, props to the official. He was in the middle of the field, and he threw that penalty marker way across the field. Guy's got a cannon.
Sign that guy up for the local community softball team, Cole. We got a third baseman on our hands. The power corner.
So after the penalty, it's now 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. 27 seconds remaining in this half. 17-7, Bears leading over the Rangers. Steinmetz in motion. Miller wants a quick pass on the slant.
Wow.
In and out of the hands of Austin Young, and it bounces up for the defensive back to pick that one off, and he does. Turnover right at the last end of the second quarter. Disaster for the offense of the Rangers.
You know, we saw this in week 1 where Ridgeville, as talented as they are, they make mistakes, not catching the ball, jumping off sides, whatever it may be. You know, a bad snap here and there, fumbling. But Royalton, they've really played equal when it comes to talent-wise, when it comes to performance, but they aren't making these mistakes. That's the credit I'll give to them. They're not dropping the ball as much. They're not letting the ball go in the air once it hits off their chest. They're kind of just executing a little bit more. Ridgeville, they're going to have a problem going forward if this continues.
So Royalton taking a timeout. Again,
they're missing some guys.
Yeah, they're trying to get the right personnel out on the field, as I'm assuming they're going to take a knee and try to take this to the locker room. A reminder before that interception that the trip to the red zone just a moment ago was brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more. And I have to say, Cole Miller missed Austin Young wide open earlier in the game, and you could see that Austin Young was a little bit frustrated with that. That was when that interception happened, that dead duck that was in the air where Miller didn't really get a good grip on that football. That one there, that one's not on Miller. Miller actually put that one right in the chest of Young on that slant.
That's not on him.
Again, that was one where you got to try to get your hands to that football. You let that one get into your body, it hit his chest and came up in the air, and that's how it was picked off by the defense. So both of those guys, Young and Miller, have to find something, some way to get regrouped, get back in sync come the second half. And there's the knee there. And these two teams are going to go to the locker room with the Bears leading at home 17-7 over the Rangers. Want to remind everybody the halftime interview coming up with Kenny Wilson from the Gutter Pros and Pristine Clean. Dom's going to sit down with him here in just a moment. And you're going to get some halftime scores. For myself, Cole McDaniel, I am going to be stepping away and be right back for the start of the second half. Don't go anywhere here on the YouTube channel.
All right, I'm Dominic Clary. I'm here with one of our sponsors, Ken Wilson. How are you doing here today?
I'm doing awesome, Don. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And, we're here to talk about two of your companies, Pristine Clean Ohio and Gutter Boys. Why did you decide to open those companies up to begin with? And, what services do they provide?
Yeah, so just out of high school, I was just, hustling, trying to make some McDonald's money. And, now, they're pretty large companies servicing Northeast Ohio and also Columbus. The Gutter Boys is a gutter brand. We just install gutters, gutter guards, cleaning. And then Pristine Clean is a exterior home maintenance where we're washing, anything you have on the outside of your home, we're washing it. Your roof, your concrete, your driveway, all that. So
we've had a lot of bad weather here as of late.
Oh, yeah.
So in Northeast Ohio especially, how do your two companies able to help homeowners with any damages that they may have received or just some of the cleanup in general?
Yeah, with Pristine Clean, obviously when the sun's shining, that's when people want the work done. When it's raining, it's kind of nice to have two different realities going on. It's really good for the gutter business. Obviously, we've had historic rain in August, and it's really made it good for business. Unfortunately, homeowners got something to contend with the last couple months.
Yeah, so I see the North Ridgeville stuff on, so I can see who you're.
Yeah, let's talk about
for.
that. That's the stuff I want to talk about.
So you do have kids that are in the school system.
Yeah.
Currently playing in athletics.
Yeah.
What have their experiences been with North Ridgeville? How have your experiences been watching them and helping them with their athletics journey? Also, what grades are they in as well?
So I have 5 kids. I have a senior. He's number 24 on the field. Then I have, a 10th grader, 5th grader, 3rd grader, and a kindergartner.
So you're all over the place.
I'm an overachiever, man. I don't know. So, but that North Ridgeville is a great city. There's a ton of potential. It's kind of one of them cities that's like later to develop, and so there's been a lot of issues over the years, especially even with athletics, youth athletics, but it's exciting because there's so much potential, and I feel like even now we're starting to actualize that potential, and as a family of 7, it's exciting to be a part of a school district and an athletic program where you feel like there's this burgeoning potential. Yep.
So how all your kids enjoy going to North Ridgeville? The experience has been fun with them?
Yeah, they have, and they're all in athletics, so it's like a full-time Uber driver right now. And we got to get a lot of help too. So
I bet there's a probably a big carpool going on there.
Oh man, sometimes I'll just throw the thumb out and get a ride to practice. So yeah.
So how's your experience been with us, Keon Sports, being a sponsor? And why are high school athletics so important to you?
Well, it's, I got to know Vince a little bit last year, and obviously, the brand and seeing what the brand is passionate about, which is youth athletics and really putting a spotlight in an area where there's not a big spotlight, and then being able to also do that for my city, for, North Ridgeville Athletics. I felt like it was important to sponsor, the Keon Sports to be able to then also kind of get that spotlight back onto the kids that I think deserve it the most. And obviously I'm partial. Living in North Ridgeville, I want to see that spotlight on those athletes.
Now, one last question. How can people reach out to you or either one of your businesses if they need one of your services?
Sure. Websites are the best way. thegutterboys.com, pristineclean.com. Pretty easy way.
Okay, well, yeah, that's our interview here. We'll get with you with scores here in a moment.
Thanks so much.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Great Lakes Training. Great Lakes Basketball caters to athletes of all ages and experience levels with a wide variety of training techniques. Book your first session today at www.greatlakesbasketball.com or email Coach J at coachj@greatlakesbasketball.com. Got You Covered Medina. Got You Covered of Medina offers affordable and high-quality blinds and shades that can completely transform the interior of your property. With affordable pricing and experts in the field of home redecorating to guide you, check them out online at www.gotchacovered.com/Medina or call them at 330-446-3647. The Gutter Boys. At the Gutter Boys, they believe there's a better way to do gutters. The gutter industry is one that is easily entered, but true professionalism is what separates them from the rest. Reach out to them today at 440-271-8847.
I'm Dominic Clary here with the broadcast crew, Keon Sports, and you're listening to the Hinckley Roofing Halftime Show. The interview we had previously was also brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. We have some scores here for you, a few surprising ones at that as well. Avon, they're taking on Glenville. They're winning 14-8. They're in a tough matchup. Anything could happen there. We'll be keeping you updated with that one, especially all night long. Berea Mid-Park started off strong against Strongsville, 21-0. Highland and Brunswick, they're in what we like to call a slobber knocker, 0-0. We'll update you if there's a score that happens here in the second half. Homestead Falls, they're going against a team from Youngstown, Canfield. They're winning 21-7. That's another game where anything could happen. It's a promising first half right now for the Bulldogs. Avon and Chardon in a 7-7 matchup. Chardon won a state title, I believe, about 2 years ago. This is a matchup of two powerhouses here in Northeast Ohio. Cleveland Heights, they are losing to Hudson, surprisingly, 17-14. Hudson popping off on the scene, showing that they can be a competitor here in Northeast Ohio, as Cleveland Heights, they are not a team to trifle with. Elyria Catholic, they are losing to Midview 7-0. And then in a surprising battle between one of the powerhouses in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and a powerhouse here in Cleveland, Ohio, Pitt Central Catholic, they are demolishing St. Ignatius in a surprising 33-3 game here in the first half. And Warren G. Harding of Youngstown, Ohio, is taking on a small team from Pennsylvania, but they were a powerhouse at that. Warren G. Harding, they're winning 7-0. That is the halftime report here at North Royalton, as North Royalton leads 17-7. The second half will be back soon. That is the Hinckley Roofing Halftime Show.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Helene Kia. Looking for a new or used car? Check out our guy Jim McConville at Helene Kia in North Olmsted on Lorraine Road. Jim is a member of the auto community for the last 20 years and will treat you right no matter your car buying need. He's an expert at new and used car deals, including trade-ins and financing. Hinckley Roofing. They are your first choice in commercial or residential roofing. This family-run company has been around for 50 years and is your first choice in trusted roofing needs. You can find them online today at hinkleyroofing.com or call them at 330-273-2979, as they use only the best products on the market to get the job done right every single time. JBL Roofing and Construction. JBL is a licensed, bonded, and insured contractor with the experience to complete any job needed for your home or property. Let their team of professionals help you with vinyl siding, windows, roofing, and gutters. Get the job done right the first time and stress-free with JBL. Call them today at 330-677-9463 or visit them on the web at jblrc.com. Jenny's Popcorn. You can find their flavors anywhere popcorn is sold, including Giant Eagle and Mark's. Visit them online at jennyspopcorn.com or in person at 38727 Taylor Parkway in North Ridgeville, Ohio. They have everything from butter, cheese, caramel, and everything in between at this popcorn paradise. Kelly McLean Achievement Center, the premier resource for high school athletes who wish to continue to play in college. They provide a one-on-one consultative approach to help students determine their needs and goals. Visit them online at kellymac.com. Laura Bosworth. Buying and selling a home can be stressful. You need a kind, caring realtor who puts her clients first. Consult with full-time area expert Laura Sirigliano Bosworth with Century 21 Homestar and the 21 Mike team. Call or text 440-552-1904 or email Laura at laura@21mike.com. Makeaway Dumpster. At Makeaway, customers get discounts on days and prices. They offer 24-hour delivery in most cases, along with 10, 15, 20, and 25 cubic yard containers. With Makeaway, there are no hidden charges for drop-off, pickup, or wait. Find them at makeawaydumpsterrental.com. Mangia Bella Italian Goods. If you love Italian food like we do, then you need to swing over to Mangia Bella Italian Goods at 22560 Lorraine Road in Fairview. This family-run business knows that a happy belly is a full belly. From vintage homemade pasta to meatball subs the size of your head, you will be in a food lover's paradise. You've tried the rest, now have the best. MDG Flooring. If you're in need of quality flooring for your home or office, Look no further than MDG Flooring America in Medina. There is nothing that Steve and his talented staff cannot handle. Call them today at 330-725-5252 or stop in and visit them in person at 3812 Pearl Road in Medina. My 22 Veterans. Mission 22 provides support to veterans and their families when they need it most, right now. Through a comprehensive approach of outreach, events, and programs, we're promoting long-term wellness and sustainable growth. Visit them today at mission22.com. My Medicare Network. My Medicare Network is a local insurance agency that specializes in helping seniors compare and enroll into a Medicare insurance plan. They represent all major carriers, which will save you time and frustration. And when working with My Medicare Network, you'll be confident you selected the best plan for your needs. Nancy's Main Street Diner. They only prepare your meals with the freshest ingredients. The dishes are made to order as they never use heat lamps, and they take no shortcuts whatsoever. They're located at 426 Main Street in Grafton, Ohio. Nancy's Main Street Diner is your choice for all 3 daily meals. Pope Fitness. It's a gym for everyone. Don's road to being a World's Strongest Man finalist gave him a deep appreciation for fitness at every level. He created Pope Fitness to help every individual reach their goals and maintain the motivation it takes to get there. Visit them today at 33789 Center Ridge Road in North Ridgeville. Pristine Clean, Ohio. Pristine Clean has one goal: to be the best power washing company in Northeast Ohio. The commitment began in 2008 when owner Ken Wilson founded the company, which has since grown into one of the largest locally owned and operated power washing companies in the nation. Give them a call at 440-209-3780.
And we're about to get the second half underway here in just a moment for the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Thanks everybody for watching and listening live here on the Keon Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Of course, Cole McDaniel here with Dom Clary and Brandon Soder, and a shout out for Dom for his work during the halftime show, brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Well, up on the scoreboard, the North Royalton Bears lead at home 17-7 over the North Ridgeville Rangers, and the Rangers have had some struggles offensively even once they've moved the football. A couple costly turnovers, and those interceptions have really led to the Bears having that lead right now because they've capitalized, gotten some points on the other end of the field. 2 minutes away from this kickoff here. And Brandon, I'm going to throw it over to you a little bit. We talked about it in the first half, how North Ridgeville, it was sloppy in the first half of the very first game of the season, but they had a very simple playbook at that point. By halftime, they opened it up a little bit. Second half, they started rolling past North Olmsted as they opened up that playbook. You mentioned that you think the playbook's even more open tonight, and possibly because of that, the young quarterback Cole Miller is struggling a little bit, having to make some quick decisions, and of course has more plays and things getting called into him at his disposal.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's more than just that, because when you say that, it takes away from the job that North Royalton has done so far tonight. The North Royalton Bears are by far the best defense that North Ridgeville has played so far this season, so credit where credit is due there. With Miller, a younger quarterback, like you said, each week you're expanding the playbook. This week it seems like they've really added in a lot of those RPOs. They're making him think a little bit more. They're making him make quicker decisions. And in those moments where he's had to make the snap decision and had the opportunity for a big play, that's where we've seen the mistakes coming in. So interested to see if he's made some of those adjustments at halftime, calm down a little bit, and see if he can get things going here now in the third quarter.
And we will find out quickly as the second half kickoff about to be underway. The Rangers going to field this one, and they'll be going from right to left on your screen. Getting out past the 25-yard line, spinning out of one tackle was Austin Young, and then brought down from behind at the 28-yard line, and here comes the offense of the Rangers once again.
Austin Young so close to breaking that one off. He did an excellent job making a couple guys miss. Good yards after contact. Almost had that lane bouncing out over to the left side of the field, but caught him just on his heels. You know, he's been frustrated so far this game. Witnessed one interception where Miller just threw the ball a little bit short, and then had the other one pop off his chest. So he wanted one there to put his team back in the game.
But Young did have the touchdown as well. Get the football to Charlie Steinmetz is what we talked about when we were off air a little bit here, just at halftime, and they do. They give it to Steinmetz. One carry, he already moves the chains again, and that's a guy, when you get the football in his hands, Dom, he makes plays happen, and they just really didn't give him the ball in the first half.
No, they didn't, and I want to give a shout-out to J.D. Radaway there had it with a pancake block. Always got to shout out a lineman when he's going downfield and doing work, especially on the opposite side of the field, but they need to feed him the ball more. He is a big-time player. They need to utilize him as many ways as possible.
Here's the handoff. Barnhart gets a block out in front. There's a stiff arm, clears some space, throws another defender off of him, and he's going to brought down just past the 45-yard line at the 46, gain of 5.
Excellent run there by Barnhart. Not much you can do when you've got 5 guys piled up against you at the end of that run, but he was stiff-arming, moving people out of the way. He is a people mover. Despite him not being the biggest guy on the field, it is impossible to bring this man down.
One of the meanest stiff arms in Northeast Ohio had a really nasty one week 1, and that one was pretty solid there as well. Now on 2nd and 5, we'll see if they go back to the well with Barnhart. That they do. Carry up the middle. That's going to be enough to get past the first down marker, and some after that, up just past the 45 on the Bears side of the field.
Every time he gets the ball, I just imagine him just screaming out, "Meet me in the gap." Every time, lowers his shoulder. He'll drag 1, 2, 3, or 4 defenders if he has to. He's just one of those backs. Seems like he has a little bit more juice in his shoes coming into the half. Let's see if he can keep momentum and keep this team going. There's only 2 linebackers back there, 5 people on the line of scrimmage on the defense.
Here's the handoff to Steinmetz. Steinmetz bouncing it to the outside. One man to beat. He cuts back, finds some space out past the 20-yard line, pushed out at the 15. So that's 2 times the ball's been handed off to Steinmetz this drive, and he's picked up 2 massive chunks, none bigger than that one. And now inside the 20-yard line at the 15 and back into the red zone go the Rangers, and this is where they had the interception on the last drive, end of the first half.
So this is where we got to see if the halftime adjustments come into play. North Ridgeville's had the yips a little bit when it comes to getting down here in the red zone. Let's see if they can stay settled.
Here's the handoff. Barnhart getting out around the outside, and there's a penalty marker coming in. Think this one's going to be backed up. Probably a hold there going against the offensive line, but a reminder that this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more, and there's the official call holding on the Rangers.
Speaking of sponsors, somebody needs to go get this referee's name so we can get him on the Hinckley Roofing Player of the Game ballot. Once again, that was a good 20 yards away. He was able to throw that flag.
They all have arms. It was the other guy who launched the really long one earlier in the game. Something about this officiating crew. We got one more official to see if he's got an arm, but we got two cannons out there for sure.
I don't know. Can we give Player of the Game to the officials? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
We'll have to check back on that.
We'll have to talk about it, that's for sure.
Got to call Vince on the hotline.
Steinmetz gets the football once again. Pulled down from behind, past the 20-yard line, up to the 19. So going to make this next attempt at getting a first down much more manageable, upcoming after the gain of 6 on that carry. 9 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Still trailing by 10, but the Rangers trying to find a way to knock on the doorsteps and get a touchdown up on the board to make it a one-score game. 2nd and 14 here in the pistol set. Steinmetz, he's got a lot of work on this drive. There's a flinch up front. Not enough to jump off sides. Steinmetz in motion. Barnhart, carry up the middle, barreling through 2 defenders, past the 10-yard line. Marked down at the 9. Excellent carry and makes it 3rd and manageable.
It's almost like watching like a cartoon. Like it's not. He doesn't look real. I mean, it's almost like a cartoon where they're dragging his shirt and his shoes and his pants. It's just like it doesn't matter where you try to wrap him up at. He'll just drag you along with him. I mean, that's a 10-yard run essentially, with dragging 3 people in the process.
3rd and 4 from the 9-yard line, and this run is stuffed up the middle. Again, the linebackers and the defensive line of the Bears filling those gaps very nicely. No gain, and here on 4th down, looks like DeShazo's coming out onto the field, and I believe the Rangers, they're going to have to try to just settle for 3.
Now, how much does this decision play into the red zone struggles that North Ridgeville has had so far today?
It doesn't. It doesn't. You're down by 10. You have to get this either way. Get it out of the way. Focus on the stop next possession, then the touchdown. It's easier to get the touchdown now, but hey, if the 3's there, try to get it now.
Kick is up and the hold's good. That kick beautiful right down the middle, and it's now 17-10 as the Bears, they still hold that lead. So still now just a 1-score lead though for the Bears. Certainly helps to get those 3 points for the Rangers, but those red zone struggles, as Brandon talked about, would have liked to find a way to get a touchdown. They couldn't make it into the end zone. Still walked away with points, but if you're the Bears, that's a win.
Absolutely, and if you're North Ridgeville, you're happy again that you got points. But once again, a penalty, a mental mistake has put them back. You know, if they weren't starting like into the red zone with a 1st and 20, you know, they convert that, right? And I'm fairly certain they're able to convert that for 7 there. So again, just one little mental mistake was enough to change it from 7-3 for North Ridgeville in a game where every point's going to count. Every possession is going to count here. So like you said, let the defense go out, do its thing, hopefully get the ball back. You've shown that your offense can still move. You've shown this run game can be dominant when you need it to. Now it's time for the defense to show up.
This was going to be a 2-part job either way. Whether you got a touchdown here or a touchdown later, it's a 2-part job. You just got to get the job done twice.
Kick low on the squib. Fielded around the 30-yard line, getting around the edge and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. So decent field position upcoming now for the Bears. And a reminder that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinckleyroofing.com. And I want to say before the Bears take the field here right now on offense for their first drive of the second half, I want to say make sure you pay attention to KeonSports.com this weekend. Make sure you see about all the articles going up, not only for high school football coverage, of course, MAC coverage really up in full swing for, of course, Dom Cleary, the man to my right here in the booth tonight. Of course, make sure to pay attention to Sports Key 1 as well on Twitter. Here's the handoff. Miller, a burst of speed, spun down at the 48-yard line. An excellent gain of 8 yards on the first carry of this half.
Nearly was able to roll off the defenders and pop back up and take that for more. Good, excellent run there by Miller to get this thing started. And like you mentioned, the marquee running back matchup today between Miller and Barnhart, and then obviously we're seeing more get into the mix. This has got to be, heaven, especially for Dom, right? Old-fashioned smash-mouth football. Lots of great running backs on display here tonight.
3 yards in a cloud of dust, the way God intended.
If you give the football to Miller, a lot of times it's 7 yards or more, and he just trucks the defender there. And Dom is smacking the table right now. I'm sure he wants to put on a helmet and go out there on the field after seeing what Miller did right there. How much would you love to block for a running back like that?
Oh, goal. That's just – I was watching highlights of the running back I played with, and he used to do stuff like that all the time, just lower his shoulder and just deck a running back. That's exactly what we saw. Wow. This is the type of football that I love to watch.
We'll see if they go back to the well once again. Instead, this time pulled by Kenny and then stripped away. Football is out. But he's able to dive on it back past the 50-yard line, so the football is going to go back into Bears territory. Good job by Joe Kenny to get on that football, avoid any danger. But, man, that was a major loss there after 2 really good carries by Miller.
Loss of 11 there. Now you have to get a first down twice plus 1. Not ideal. Not ideal, but with 2 downs, hey, it's like if you got a 10-yard penalty in Canadian football. Now you just have 2 downs to do it. Now that's the way you got to view it. For those that don't know, Canadian football only has 3 downs. Probably should explain that before I hit the joke.
Yeah, right.
And they have forward motion, but that's not here or there.
Miller moves to the left here of Kenny. Kenny gets hit as he throws, and his helmet, and actually, no, that is the helmet of Miller that's off. Miller having a conversation with the official, and here comes the penalty marker up in the air. And that was the other official we need to see throw a flag. That guy's got a cannon to launch that a good 20 yards, probably up vertically in the air. And that was because of maybe something Miller said to the official, not happy that there was no call there as he was trying to block.
Arm strength of officials in Canadian football. You never know what you're going to hear here on the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
No, I mean, I can bring up more references of different sports. I do watch a lot of European sports, so I can bring up a few F1 races.
Can we get a spike ball reference in here?
No.
Okay.
I do like spike ball, though. I haven't played in a while. I actually was the football team. We used to play spike ball a lot at BW. Me and Anthony Kendall, who now plays for the Titans, we ran the table against the BW freshmen our freshman year. I hurt my shoulder and was out for a few weeks playing spike ball with them. Funny enough, yeah.
Yeah, the coaching staff, I'm sure, loves the reasoning for why you were out there.
I told him it was a lifting injury.
Yeah, just playing spike ball. There you have it. Any coaches of Baldwin Wallace who might be listening to this, a couple years back, that was actually spike ball Dom Clary got hurt by, and he just admitted it here on the broadcast, but always a good time here.
Our offensive line coach doesn't coach there anymore. I doubt Coach Hilbert cares, so I think we'll be okay.
Having a good time here on the Keon Sports Game of the Week, and as we're joking around, right, there really hasn't been many snaps here the last couple moments because this offense just keeps moving back and back and back. First you had the ball on the turf. Kenny had to jump on it. Then you have the penalty on sportsmanlike against Miller and North Royalton, and now another penalty. It's 3rd and 41. Kenny, short throw, and taken down was number 20, Mannix Wasco. And it's going to be 4th and down. The punting unit comes out on the field, and not too often you see 4th and 41 on the scoreboard.
It reminds me a few years ago in college football when a team had the ball on the goal line. They didn't fumble it, and every player on both teams was diving on the ball until it ended up on the 1. And it was like 2nd and 100. What was it, 2nd and 98?
It was 2nd and goal from the 98
yeah,
yard line. It was 98-yard line. You know what I mean.
Punt coming with 3.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. This one, a wobbler, going to hop right at the 45-yard line. Somehow a favorable bounce for the Bears. Stays in bounds, really tiptoeing up along that sideline there here on the near side. And going to be spotted down at the 36-yard line. So plenty of time here in the third quarter before these teams have to switch sides for the Rangers to try to see if they can tie this one up.
So, like I said before, it's a two-part job, right? You're down by 10. Even if you scored a touchdown on the first time, you have to score a touchdown again or a field goal to tie it or take the lead. Now, you just have to tie it, right? Now it's more of a three-part job, but that's, again, not here or there. You can get the job done here. You have good field position. You need a touchdown.
Here's the snap. Given to Andrew Ennis. Ennis trying to get around the edge on the jet sweep. Not a ton of space there. Gain of 4. Football now at the 40-yard line. 2nd and 6 upcoming.
I feel like we keep adding jobs down. So now if they tie this up, is it a 4-part
Well,
job?
you know, to get the tie, it's a two-part job. To take the lead, it's a three-part job. But, you know, what I mean by that is that you can't focus on getting it all at once. Right now you're focused on this tie. It essentially makes it a 0-0 ball game.
Hand off to Steinmetz. Steinmetz is such a great burst of speed as soon as he touches the football. As he moves past the first down marker, he drops his shoulder into the defender and plows him past the 50-yard line. Brought down 2 yards after he crosses into Bears territory at the 48. But every time Steinmetz has touched the football here in this quarter, he's made a difference. And despite not scoring a touchdown on the last drive, Steinmetz really spearheaded that drive to get them down the field. We'll see if they go back to the well with him once again. 2.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Here's the handoff to Barnhart. Barnhart has a blocker out in front of him, a gain of 5 on that carry.
You know, they're really just setting themselves up for play action constantly. The run game is so good that these safeties are going to overcommit on the run. Same with the linebackers. All you got to do is pull one, let it loose. Don't throw a duck, because we saw that earlier where, honestly, they should have a touchdown on this, another touchdown on the scoreboard. But they can make up for it here. Wow, the box is filled here for the Bears.
Box is filled because it was a tight set there for the Rangers. Not sure who was actually going to get the football there. It looked like it could have gone a variety of different ways. Instead, it appears like that was number 8, Andrew Ennis, who touched the football once again. And Ennis is a guy who really has not found a whole lot of space tonight. Barnhart's had a good night, Steinmetz, but it feels like every time Ennis has touched the football, the lanes have been closed up. 3rd and 5 now from the 43-yard line. 1.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Barnhart on the carry, finds space. He'll get past the first down marker and carrying the pile past the 35-yard line to the 34.
That looked like Barnhart called a shot there a little bit. I don't know if you caught that. He was talking to his quarterback. He pointed right over to the strong side where he ended up running. Maybe it was already designed that way, but he saw something. He found a hole and he plowed through. Another excellent run from Barnhart.
Now, again, what you can see there, that can be a pre-snap call-out. Hey, 42's the mic, 52's the mic, Will to the left, strong side right, strong side right. A lot of call-outs are going. Maybe that he was correcting a call there.
See if they go back to Barnhart once again. Instead, Miller decides to pull that one, trying to follow a couple blockers, takes a decent hit up along the sideline, going to get out of bounds after a gain of 2.
Yeah, there's a lot of communication. Usually your center communicates a lot, right? So when you get set, right, for that offensive line, the quarterbacks, the running backs, they all have to communicate, right? So the center immediately, he leans back and says, look, make sure his running back knows, hey, 42's the mic, 42's the mic. That changes of where the combos are going, who are we building up to, where are we looking to go, and then other call-outs, if it's a pass, Louie, Roger. These things can mean different protections. There's so much happening before the play.
20 seconds remaining. Going to probably be the last play of the quarter here for the Rangers. And Barnhart slipped through a few tacklers, kept those legs moving, and nearly slipped out enough where he could take that one to the end zone. Instead, brought down up close to the marker, going to be about half a yard short. And that is going to, and actually, no, it looks like a Bear is down on the field. And the officials blew that whistle dead right with about 2 seconds left. Not sure if they're just going to let this one go to the end of the quarter. But again, zeros up on the board here right now as the Bears here at what appears like it's going to be the end of the third quarter leading 17-10. So I'm going to actually step aside here. We're going to assume that it's going to be the fourth quarter coming up. We'll be right back for the start of the fourth and final quarter.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Pulp North Olmsted. From wraps to bowls to smoothies and everything in between, this is the perfect healthy option for the person on the go. Stop in and taste for yourself at 27650 Lorraine Road in North Olmsted. Riley's Irish Bakery, the absolute best bakery and comfort food selection you will find on the west side of town. Located in the heart of Fairview, this incredible family-run business is your first, last, and only stop for the best eats. At Riley's Irish Bakery, they use the freshest ingredients to create classic Irish baked goods and savories. They are located at 22570 Lorraine Road in Fairview.
Back for the start of the fourth and final quarter. 3rd and 1 upcoming for the Rangers at the end of the third quarter. Again, that Bear who was down looked like it was just cramping. He was up and walked off under his own power, so looks to be okay. And we're about to get the first play of the fourth quarter, and it's going to be a handoff to Steinmetz. Steinmetz had plenty of yardage to get that first down and moves inside the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 upcoming, and this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more.
You know, that play is such a quick hitter. It's almost like it's a wing T type of play where the quarterback would just turn around and then one of the wings will just grab the ball and go. That's essentially what the play design is. It's just in the pistol. It works so well. I mean, you can't even react to it if you're the defensive line.
Clap of the hand from Miller. The handoff to Barnhart. He found some space between his guard and tackle, and then he's so hard to wrap up and bring down. Body's just bouncing off of him, and he gets down to the 5-yard line, put those chains down. It's now 1st and goal from the 5.
No, this is right here where I'd like to see an RPO, because right now you have these linebackers overcommitted. You know, back in the day, you used to do a pop pass, right? You run a waggle route where the tight end essentially just goes up straight field, about 5-10 yards, and just turns around and doesn't move and just stands right there.
Here's the handoff to Barnhart. Slips one tackler, and the football's out. I think he dropped it. It was fumbled at the 1-yard line. Barnhart was not in the end zone. He did not break the plane, and I couldn't tell if it got punched out or it just slipped out of his hands. Ball shot sideways, about 7 yards backwards, and the Bears the first ones to get to it, and every time the Rangers get close to scoring tonight, something happens and they turn the ball over. Disaster for what looked like it was about to be a surefire tie ball game.
What is happening? What is happening for North Ridgeville here?
I'll tell you what's going on with North Ridgeville, Brandon. No discipline. Again, talented team. I mean, these are a good group of young men, but the discipline has killed them in 3 games, despite they only give up 13 points before this game, and they've destroyed their opponents. You just got to hold on to the ball. There's no excuse.
So the first play of this drive, the handoff to Miller, and Miller slipping through a couple tackles before he's taken down at the 20-yard line. But I have to go back to that. Barnhart, he really high-stepped out of a tackle, an attempted tackle, grabbing at his ankles. Looked like he was going to walk in, and it almost looked like he let up a little bit. Thought he was in and going to walk that one into the end zone. It almost looked like a Bear came across and punched that out the way the football came out. Would have been surprised if it went backwards the way that football was going, but have to say, if that actually we can, you know, tonight, tomorrow, I'm sure we're going to watch this back, but have to give credit to the defender if they got their hand in there. Miller going low between the tackles there and slides forward just past the first down marker. Move the chains as the football now moves up to the 27-yard line.
And while we have a break, guys, I'm going to go ahead and try to run that back and see what we can see on that last play.
As Brandon takes a look at that and looking for that play, see if he can watch that one back and give us official confirmation whether that slipped out or was punched out. Mentioned that 1st and 10 upcoming here from the 27, and Royalton opportunity. The clock's their friend right now. Drain clock, see if they can make their way down the field and score. It said massive hit there. Kenny put it right on Wasco, and as soon as he turned, he was popped. Took that one straight in the chest, dropped the football, incomplete, 2nd and 10.
Well, that's just one of those where you're just gasping for air after that. You're trying to run around like you're fine, but you're wheezing through your face mask. That is not a fun hit to take.
So it's hard to get an actual number on it, but a Bear did get around and knock that ball loose. Looks like it may have been the same one that was in pursuit of the punt. So excellent heads-up play there by North Royalton.
Really smart play, not giving up at the 1 yard line, and that's one where lesson to all players out there, again, don't let up when you're running. Even though it looks like you're going to walk into the end zone, run through the goal line, because you can never be too sure about somebody sneaking up on your blind side and trying to throw a punch at that football. That's exactly what happened for the Bears, and that is a credit to the defender that punched that one out and didn't give up on the play.
You know, this is why I kind of miss the running back / fullback of old, like Peyton Hillis or Jerome Bettis, where they just ran with 2 hands on the ball. That needs to be taught a little bit more, even in an open field.
Kenny back to pass. He's pressured from behind. He's going to be pulled down for a sack, not without a fight. I think that one might have been ripped out of his hands. Looks like Kenny was able to keep a hold of that football just barely, as big number 74, Shane Osborne, comes crashing in and takes down the quarterback. And now it's 4th and 14, and the Bears about to punt this one away. So even after keeping the Rangers off the scoreboard just a moment ago, not able to move the ball or kill too much time off of the clock, now the Rangers have to see what they can do and if they can actually finish off a drive with 7 upcoming.
We always have a good game here, don't we?
We do.
A little different than last year, but boy, this has been fun.
This punt up in the air. Takes another decent bounce for the Bears. Every single time they've punted the ball down the field, it hasn't spun back. It's gone their way and gotten some extra yardage. Decent field position still here for the Rangers, but they're on their own side of the football field at the 40-yard line. And the last 2 drives, we've really seen the Rangers have moved the ball quite well. On that drive, though, like I said, at the 1 yard line, you can't get much closer to breaking the planes there, and then you lose that football. Barnhart, you got to shake that one off because he's been a key factor on the ground. They got to keep going back to him still. Instead, Steinmetz cutting back, has a blocker out in front of him, gets past the 50-yard line. 1st down, and officially spotted down at the 46.
Great patient run there by Steinmetz. But to go back to a little bit of what you were saying, the mistakes in the red zone, what makes it almost tougher, right, is that it's not limited to one player. We've seen the quarterback, their top receiver, and then Barnhart, all 3 of them making critical mistakes down there. The reason that I think Barnhart was still getting the ball was not only was he the hot hand, but it's going to limit your mistakes down in the red zone, and sure enough, still managed to happen again. So just got to hope that mentality doesn't stick with them here, because they've got to put 7 up on the board if they want to tie this up.
Barnhart on the carry, gets a gain of nearly 2 yards there. Initially, his shoulder pad was grabbed when he was still in the backfield, but he was able to break out of that and get forward for a positive gain of 2. 2nd and 8 now from the 45. 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, and North Royalton really conceding a lot of yards, but not points. They still have a lead, 17-10. Miller hands it off. Steinmetz. Steinmetz slips through a tackle there and gets close to the 35-yard line. And Steinmetz and Barnhart just don't go down on initial contact.
No, they don't. They lower their shoulder, they fall forward. That's one good coaching to teach those young men to fall forward, and then even better effort because they execute. Both of these young men do. Again, a few mistakes, but they're talented. They know what they can do. If you calculate the times where they had someone open in the end zone and the ball was underthrown, or a fumble at the goal line when he was falling in, they should be up a touchdown right now.
They should be up a few, to be honest.
on the jet sweep. This one nowhere to go. Breaking through a couple tackles. If North Royalton was able to bring number 17, Ryan Anderson, down a little bit quicker, would have been a loss of a couple more yards. Instead, makes it back to that original line of scrimmage.
Credit to Anderson there. There's a couple times he could have gone down. Again, you don't really get a gain on the play, but that could have been significantly worse. So it's a great job fighting for every yard you can, even when there's a wall of defenders in front of you. Can't really fault the guy for that.
Because of the turnover on the last drive, I want to remind everybody that all kicks, sacks, and turnovers in this game have been brought to you by Hinckley Roofing. Check them out online at hinkleyroofing.com. 2 running backs in the backfield. Miller gives this one to Steinmetz, and that one was tricky. It was hard to follow that football, but Steinmetz looked like he wasn't going to have a lot of room and get stopped there in the backfield, but he made his way past the 30-yard line and was taken down at the 25. Really nice gain on that carry, making something out of nothing, move the chains again.
The solution for this run offense here by the Bears is to put 5 men, so Bear or under, whatever you want to refer it as, on the line of scrimmage, and then have three linebackers in the box. They brought a safety down. We'll just call it a free roam linebacker.
Here's the handoff to Barnhart. Finds it just a touch of space there, enough to slip through for a gain of about 4 yards. And I have to say, the runs in the first half were not massive for the Rangers. Now, in the second half, we saw the speed of the Bears on defense. They don't have the size there. Maybe the offensive line's starting to wear down the Bears defensively a little bit. But I think the other thing is you're seeing a lot of polars now. It's when that polar gets out in front of the running back is when you're seeing Barnhart and you're seeing Steinmetz get a ton of yards on their carry. And that's really been something that the Rangers have been doing as of late. Steinmetz is the polar now for Barnhart, and that time linebacker shot the gap, just beat Steinmetz to the spot, is able to take down Barnhart after a gain of 1. And it's now 3rd down.
Crucial 3rd down if you're North Ridgeville. Yes, there's still 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock, but the way this game is going, this may be your last offensive possession, right? Because you're going to keep trying to run the ball down. Time's just going to keep ticking off of this clock. You've got to take advantage here if you're the Rangers.
4 minutes remaining now in the game. The Rangers, they have to score on this drive. Miller back to pass, and that one nearly intercepted. Again, the Rangers have consistently been running the football. That time, that connection between Miller and Austin Young, for the most part, aside from the 1 touchdown earlier in the game, has really been the result of 2 interceptions. They have not been on the same page, weren't there. Nearly disaster and could have sealed the ball game.
That's especially important when, like we said, we're getting more RPOs, we're getting more quick passes. It is absolutely crucial to be on the same page in those situations. It is all timing, it is all feel, it is all chemistry. And right now, like you said, Cole, that's just not been there between Miller and Young.
4th and 5, the offense is on the field. They need to get a conversion here. They're going to get enough yardage there. Steinmetz behind his offensive lineman, and that one was a path cleared wide open, and Steinmetz was not going to go down easy. Move the chains again.
That play, there's like no solution to it. I'm almost interested to see how teams in the SWC try to fight that, because there's enough film on that play.
Yeah, there is.
And there's not much to it. Everyone blocks down like it's inside zone right or left, depending where he's getting the ball. And that's it. And he gets the ball, finds a gap.
Here's a handoff to Barnhart. Barnhart gets close to the 10-yard line. 3.5 minutes left to go in this game. And it has been a good one here from Serpentini Chevrolet Stadium in North Royalton, Ohio. Here at Gibson Field, don't be surprised if this clock continues to tick down and the Rangers take a bunch of time. There might only be a little bit of time left on the clock if they score and tie this ball game up for Royalton to go to work.
And Royalton hasn't really been able to do much in the second half. They haven't put up any points. It's weird. It still feels like they have a little bit of the momentum, but their offense really hasn't had to do anything so far in the second half.
Handoff to Barnhart, and he's going to get into the end zone, and there's a touchdown. And I was about to say right before that touchdown, Brandon and myself were on a call of a playoff game at Olmsted Falls where North Royalton went to overtime. That's the only overtime game we've had together as a broadcast crew. And again, it came by way of Royalton. Could it be Royalton and Ridgeville tonight going to overtime? We will wait and see. PAT about to come by way of DeShazo in just a moment. It's up, splits the uprights, it's good. Tie ball game, 17-7, 17-17, and just under 3 minutes remaining in this game. Man, Dom, this is a fun one.
This has been a blast. And we have a player down right now. I hope he's all right. The cramps have been killing the Bears all night. This has been a fun one. They've been run the darn ball. Run the darn ball. That's the football I like to see. That's the motto I live by. Both teams have lived by that. Ridgeville, a lot of success with that strategy in the second half, while Royalton, they kind of struggled to really get anything going offensively. I feel like they've only had 3 drives. I think that might be right. They haven't really done much with the ball. Their possessions have been short. Ridgeville, despite only scoring 10 points this half, they've dominated possession.
Well, Joe Kinney in the offense, they have not been out there much because the time of possession has really been going towards the Rangers because they've just been giving the football to Barnhart and Steinmetz and going to work on the ground. And that's really kept the defense of the Bears out there on the field this entire second half. So Cody Miller, he's gotten a couple carries for the drives out there for the Bears, and he still looked good on his carries. He just hasn't been able to go to work much, and Kinney really hasn't been able to air it out at all. But now 3 minutes remaining in this game, certainly an opportunity for the Bears to have enough time to make their way down the field. It's just sometimes that offense can get cold over on the sideline.
And we saw it last week. That's exactly what Olentangy was able to do to Medina. Kept the offense off the field, kept them cold.
Here's a low-line drive fielded close to the 10-yard line. That's Miller. Miller, he's a dangerous guy. He's trying to get around the edge. Not much space there as he turned up the field. Pushed out right around the 34-yard line. And here comes Kinney and the offense. Tie ball game.
Let's see what they do here. They can throw the ball. Lots and lots of runs. Let's see if they mix it up. Let's see if they keep what they're doing. This is going to be an interesting drive here. If they cannot at least burn the clock, we could see the Rangers here with one last possession.
Here's a snap to Kinney. Hand off to Miller. Miller right up the gut. Really got skinny. He went sideways. Got an extra 3 yards just side shuffling there up to the 40-yard line. Gain of 6 on that carry, and the clock slowly but surely ticking down.
Again, it felt like he was falling for about 3/4 of that run, but that's what the good running backs do. They stay up, they fight for every yard. In a game like this, every one of those is going to count.
2nd and 4 from the 40. 2 receivers to the far side of the field, still in that pistol set. Miller on the carry again. Splits in between. Looked like his left guard and left tackle there. Got skinny once again. And again, when he gets past his lineman, he just has this second gear where he's so quick, where the defenders probably see just a bullet coming through that gap there. Move the first down marker again. 1st and 10 now from the 46.
Why are we moving so slow here? NASCAR, giddy up, whatever you have to say, whatever the quick formation, the quick play call where everything's kind of dumbed down, but everything's a quick play. He's called NASCAR. You need to run NASCAR now.
Snap back to Kenny. This time he's got pressure up the middle. Football's out. Ball's on the ground, and the Rangers pick that one up. And Kenny almost seemed too confident in the pocket there. Saw that pressure from the middle linebacker coming from a mile away from up here. But Kenny didn't sense it. He stepped right into him. And again, that could be catastrophe here with 1 minute and 42 seconds left for the Bears, who have played a great game and are every bit as deserving as the Rangers to probably walk away with a win in this one.
Energy just sucked out of the stadium there. North Royalton rather had their offense moving a little bit. Maybe they weren't, quite moving up to the line like they should have. They didn't quite have that 2-minute drill feel going, and it cost them there. Like you said, quarterback taking a little bit too much time in the pocket, and it cost them big.
So Barnhart on the carry, there's not a lot of room for him there on that carry. 1.5 minutes remaining. Football at the 34-yard line, so plenty of time for the Rangers. I have to say, if you're the Bears, you're probably thinking on that drive, we really want to win this in regulation because momentum's been swinging the way of the Rangers. You probably don't want this thing to go to overtime, but now you have to now worry about what kind of leg does DeShazo have, the kicker for the Rangers, and can you stop the run? That's to be told, because Steinmetz gets the football again, and he's going to, looks like, get close to the marker. They're going to point to move the chains. First down on that carry, and unfortunately a Bear is down on the ground once again. Minute left, and you're probably getting close to Austin DeShazo range. It looked like he was kicking some field goals in warm-ups right around that 30, 25-yard line on the field, and he had enough distance, so you are entering that range if they have to settle for a field goal to try to win it.
Who was that last carry by? I'm trying to send some tweets out here.
Steinmetz, yep.
Steinmetz, okay.
There's no time for tweeting, Dom. There's a minute 7 to go. It's a tie game. We're in field goal range right now. This is as exciting as it gets, and it feels like every single time we're in North Royalton, it comes down to this. It was an exciting game in Padua last year. It was an exciting game during the COVID year when we were here covering them. They didn't win a single game in the regular season. Right.
Yeah, they did it on the road.
They didn't win a single game in the regular season. And the way the playoffs were set up, everybody still got in. They won 2 playoff games, including against Olmsted Falls when we were there. It's always exciting when, again, we travel to North Royalton. No matter what, we're set up for an exciting end here. Tie ball game minutes ago.
And every single time we've seen the Bears, it's been a run-heavy game. We saw it in that playoff game we were talking about. It was Abu Hamda who was carrying the rock, and they were really going like goal line formation, going all power. It was Miller last year, and, of course, Miller again. But right now, it's the Rangers with their ground game that you have to watch out for. Barnhart on the carry just keeps moving. Man, I think there were probably about 6 to 7 defenders that bounced off of him, and he got all the way down to inside the 15-yard line, and here goes that offense. They're moving fast. And looking over to the sideline, I don't think that one was meant to be snapped. Miller was watching as the defender there for the Bears was getting off of the field. That one hit in his chest, and Barnhart was right there paying attention to it. I think if Miller didn't get to that ball, Barnhart would have jumped on it, but that could have been disaster for the Rangers.
They're glad that the ball landed flat there and just decided it didn't want to bounce anymore and kind of died on the ground. That could have been disastrous. But I'll tell you what, Barnhart needs a nickname. I'll tell you what, the freight train is coming. Get off the tracks. When he's full set of speed, shoulder lowered, there's no stopping him. All you got to do is brace and hope you make it through. The freight train is coming through your town. I used to call John Murray that back at Baldwin Wallace, the freight train. Every time we got a first down, there'd be a train sound that would come out of the speakers.
Such a good running back. Yeah.
Dude, he's
so
a great guy, too, by the way.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's a great story of his own. I'm not going to tell his story. He tells his story just fine. John Murray was a pleasure to know, but a pleasure to play with and be in the locker room with him. But I'll tell you what. He fell forward. He lowered his shoulder. Wasn't very fast, and he'll be the first to tell you.
No,
but he fell
didn't take a loss.
No. And you know what? If you could hit him in the backfield, but he would find a way to gain a yard or two, and that's what Barnhart does too.
Yeah. The good running backs manage to find a way to fall forward every time they're hit and find a way to not take losses on those carries. So after danger was averted, still the Rangers have a football after the loss of 6, 2nd and 16, ball at the 20-yard line. And this trip to the red zone has been brought to you by Kelly McLean Achievement Center. Visit kelly-mac.com to learn more. Miller throws it out to Steinmetz. Steinmetz going to get out of bounds. Not much of a gain there. Really short on that completion. But smart play by Steinmetz just to get out of bounds to stop the clock. 33 seconds left. Third down upcoming.
So are you going for the field goal? Because if so, enough with the throwing. You get that ball, you put it right in the middle with run plays. That's exactly what you need to do. Make sure there's enough distance and enough space between the hashes.
So expect a run once again. Steinmetz gets the football. He's going to get close to that first down marker, about 1.5 yards short. So it's going to be 4th and very short. And looks like the clock is still running. I think at this point and at this position, this is almost like a PAT. I think the Rangers are going to be content running this clock down. They're probably going to take a timeout here with just a couple seconds left. And then they're going to try to kick a field goal here probably in just a moment to win this game. So there's the timeout. Stop, and the clock stops with 1 second remaining. And right down the middle of the field is where Austin DeShazo has a great attempt to really hit a walk-off field goal here.
This is what it's all about, guys. It only took 3 weeks for it to happen this time. 1 second to go, tie ball game. North Ridgeville, despite all of their issues, the mental mistakes, the turnovers, you've got a shot to walk this off in hostile territory against a tough North Royalton Bears team. This is what high school football is about. This is what we do this for.
You can see the camera shaking, I'm sure, on your screen right now, is this crowd that got quiet for a while as the Rangers kept running the football. They're stomping, and they're getting loud now here on this home side as they want this to be a miss or a block and go to overtime. We're going to have to wait for this kick. As trying to ice the kicker right now, taking a timeout. And it's some more time for Austin DeShazo to think about this. But credit to the Rangers. They didn't panic here with just a little bit of time on the clock. They stuck to their guns of running the ball. We talked about some of the struggles for Cole Miller in the first half. Well, he really hasn't had to do much passing the ball. They've just been running all half, making it difficult for the Bears. And they did enough to put this in a really great spot to make it an easy field goal for a guy who has a good leg. He's pretty accurate, but he's a linebacker on the roster. Again, doesn't even have the kicker letter in the K next to his name on the roster.
You have to find a spot to rush here. You need to find a guy you want to pick on, someone undersized or someone that doesn't seem super sturdy. You got to push him back, have a rusher go through. Another timeout. This is smart. I was wondering why they were saving their timeouts. This is why. It should say they had 3 timeouts to give. I believe they have 1 more.
Yeah, and I'm shocked right now that some fans are booing that. Keep taking timeouts.
Keep doing it.
Yeah,
Keep
you
them cold.
have 3 to burn. Why not ice DeShazo here and see if it gets into his head? I know this seems like an easy kick. You would think it's an easy kick, but there's a lot of pressure on that young man right now.
There's no such thing as an easy kick in high school football. Even college football, we know it doesn't matter how many stars you have, how far you can kick it, how accurate you usually are. When there's 1 second left and a field goal to win the game, this decides it. All the pressure is on you, and everyone is coming to block that ball. Everything on the line right now.
24-yard field goal, this one up, and it's perfect, and there's a win for the visitors. 20-17 is how the Rangers take this game over the North Royalton Bears. Nice comeback despite a lot of mistakes for the Rangers, but they get out of here moving to 3-0. Wow, what a finish there, Brandon.
Absolutely. Again, this is why we do this, guys. This is high school football. Congratulations to North Ridgeville. They're a great team. They made some mistakes out there today. You know, coach is obviously going to point those out. They're going to make those adjustments. They're going to keep settling in. But to overcome all of that, to overcome 3 different red zone turnovers to come back and win this game, all the credit in the world to North Ridgeville. North Royalton, though, 1-2, you can't be upset. Obviously, you want more wins under your belt. But, man, they played their hearts out here tonight, especially that first half. They were the better team. They were the team to beat here today. Still got plenty to look forward to going into conference play. I feel like they're going to be able to make some noise. But overall, guys, incredible game.
Well, based on the last 2 weeks for both of these teams, I think most people probably expected that North Ridgeville was going to win this game. But North Royalton made this thing very, very interesting and managed to put not necessarily a deep hole, but still put North Ridgeville in a hole. And the Rangers had to find a way to get back into it. And it was with the ground game in the second half, and it was hard to get that defense there of the Bears off of the field. Despite all the mistakes, the fumbles, the interceptions as well, Austin DeShazo ends up sealing that game for the Rangers. Credit to him, perfect on all of his kicks tonight, and none bigger than the one to close this thing out.
I'll leave you with this. Ridgeville had a phenomenal second half when it comes to performance. They still have things they need to figure out. Still sloppy play, but they have 2 fantastic players, 2 of some of the best in the SWC and some of the best that we'll see in the state. Now, for Royalton, this isn't what you wanted. You have a solid lead. You played a phenomenal first half. The second half wasn't very good, right? Wasn't super sloppy, but when it's 3rd and 40, those are the things that decide games. When there's a fumble and you can't capitalize on it, that saves a touchdown. Those are the mistakes that cost you. But at the end of the day, the community needs to be proud of this group of young men. They did great out there. They performed well. They need to lift their heads up. This is a good football team, and they play hard. There's a lot of talent on that roster. What we saw was a phenomenal football game, and I'll tell you what, that's some of the most fun I've had calling this game with you, Cole, and with you, Brandon, as well. This has been a blast, but if you're a Royalton fan, do not hang your head low. Keep your head high. These young men made this community proud here today by the effort they put forth.
Well, we've had a great time tonight calling this one. Hope everybody watching, listening has had a great time tonight watching this one live. If you watch the playback again, you're in for a very good game, of course. The Rangers, they improved to 3-0 overall. SWC play starts for them next week against Olmsted Falls for the North Royalton Bears. They fall to 1-2, and they now enter into Suburban League play next week. For myself, Cole McDaniel, and Dom Clary, we're going to step aside. Brandon Soder is going to be with you here in just a moment for the Hinckley Roofing post-game show.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Roasted Coffee Shop. Family owned and operated, a former military man and his paramedic wife followed their dream to open the top coffee shop in Ohio. It is the tastiest coffee in town, and customers keep coming back for more. Visit them today to grab a cup at 27093 Bagley Road in Olmsted Falls. Maria Lano Photography. Maria Lano is a creative photographer that tells your story. She is there to document the love that you have for your family, those moments in time, or milestones that your children will share with their own family someday. Whether that means chasing the golden sunlight on the lake or family cuddles on location, she wants to tell your story. Her goal is for you to look at these photos on your walls and remember how magical you felt in that exact moment in time. You can find out more by emailing her at marialanophotography@gmail.com. Sedmac Insurance, an independent insurance agency who has served Northeast Ohio for over 50 years. Contact Jeff Romancic today at 440-777-7744 to learn more about what they can do for you. Graffiti Warehouse. Visit them at www.graffitiwarehouse.com for the very best in high school sports merchandise. If you're passionate about your favorite team, then stop by the warehouse and pick up the proper swag to support them. Spins Bowl. Spins Bowl has 36 lanes and a large redemption arcade with a full bar and restaurant. It is truly a good time for the whole family as it has something for everyone, young and old. Swing by their website for more info at spinsbowl.com. TNT Construction. They provide residential and commercial remodeling, construction, and building services to clients in Cleveland and all of Northeast Ohio. Look them up today at tntcleveland.com. Village Coffee and Creamery. From the founders of Nancy's Main Street Diner comes Village Coffee and Creamery. They have everything from dessert, lunch items, and coffee to ice cream and every kind of sweet treat you could think of. They are located at 486 Main Street in Grafton. ECI Photography with David Chapinski. ECI is all about sports photography, sports portraits, and senior images. ECI has been around since 2015 and has captured in-game images for parents and athletes, from Pee-wees to high school, universities, Cleveland sports like the Cleveland Charge and Monsters, as well as the pros with the PBA and the Cleveland Guardians. He is always right in the action on the sideline. He offers many options, but the most popular is the 20 in-game images delivered right to your phone within 48 hours after the completion of the game. Sports portrait sessions include fog, lights, and a minimum of 45 minutes in front of the camera. Last but not least, he has been shooting for Keon Sports for the past 3 years. Contact him at eciphoto15@gmail.com, by phone at 440-396-2790, or through his website at www.eciphotography.biz. Scalpers Bar and Grill. Since 1994, Scalpers Bar and Grill has offered guests from all over Northeast Ohio the hottest in entertainment options. Over 20 big screens, great drink prices, and an array of video games, a private basement room, and an extensive menu, Scalpers offers something for everyone. Their legendary menu features award-winning wings, mouth-watering burgers, and fresh, crisp salads. Now patrons can enjoy these great tastes from 11 a.m. till 2 a.m. every day. Stop in at 5718 Mayfield Road in Lyndhurst.
And welcome into the Hinckley Roofing post-game show. I am your host, Brandon Soder. You guys, if you had joined us today, you watched an incredible game as the North Ridgeville Rangers came in to take on the North Royalton Bears. It was all North Royalton early. They established the run game. They were able to break off some big passes. And on top of that, North Ridgeville just struggled when it came to getting the ball anywhere in the red zone. 3 costly red zone turnovers today. But in the end, able to overcome that. North Ridgeville with a huge fumble recovery at the end of the game set up the game-winning field goal, and that is your final score. The North Ridgeville Rangers 20 and the North Royalton Bears 17. So, folks, obviously, if you watch this, there's plenty of great candidates for player of the game on both sides, but at the end of the day, the kicker for North Ridgeville, Austin DeShazo, gets the honor today, not only kicking the game-winning field goal. He was perfect on his extra points, 2 for 2, perfect on his field goals, also 2 for 2, came up absolutely huge in a game where North Ridgeville obviously needed every point they could get in order to come away with the victory today. So congratulations to our player of the game, Hinckley Roofing player of the game, Austin DeShazo. Couple reminders for you guys. If you happen to be a fan of North Royalton, this is not the last time you will see them on the Keon Sports High School Football Game of the Week. Week 10, we will have a rivalry game right here back in North Royalton as Wadsworth is going to come in to take on the Bears. On top of that, guys, if you happen to be a fan of high school football, which I hope you are if you're watching this, Keon Sports is your one source for all high school football. Not only this week, go check out our website, keonsports.com, at SportsKey1 on Twitter. We have 20-plus games covered once again, written articles, video highlights. This broadcast you're going to be able to play back and watch again, watch DeShazo's game winner, right? We have you covered from every single corner. No other website in Northeast Ohio has as many games covered as we do. On top of that, next week, make sure you stick around. Week 4, already in week 4 of the high school football season, we will be in Brunswick as the Blue Devils will be hosting Cleveland Heights. So again, make sure you guys tune in for that next week. It's been a fun one, guys. This is why, I've said it multiple times today, this is why we come out and cover. This is why high school athletics are so exciting and so important to the Northeast Ohio community. Our final score, once again, the North Ridgeville Rangers 20, North Royalton Bears 17. Signing off, I am your host, Brandon Soder. We will see you next week.